I guess so.
Lunch with Leah, Season 2, Episode 11.
Hi, everybody. Just wondering how I look. Just showcasing my mirror. You can special order them. Aren't they fabulous? Oh, hi, everybody. Oh, it's been such a week. Is time flying or is it me? I can't take it. I was depressed thinking my kid's going to be going to college in a year and a half. I'm already depressed about it. But the time's just going by so fast. So much stuff happens in a week. I mean, look at this pile. I mean, I could have a 2-hour show and not get through it all. Before I forget, we have a trunk show tomorrow here in our showroom from 12 to 6. 50% off of everything. I guess you guys decided to give all my money away. 50% off. I mean, that's huge. I guess we do that once a year. Is this the first time? My goodness. Discount is not available for the one-of-a-kind items. Oh my God, 50% off on leahblack.com. It's also on the website. And they get the free book if they buy $75. Oh my God, I'm going to go broke. Meanwhile, we're not going to have a show next week. It'll be Turkey Day, Turkey Week, the day before Thanksgiving. So we'll skip it next week, but we'll post something. I don't know what. And we'll be back the following week. And don't forget on the 30th, you can go to heathermcdonald.org and catch us in Orlando. No, Tampa. I think Jackie's going to go for the Queen of Versailles. We've got some interesting guests. What?
It's heathermcdonald.net.
Oh, heathermcdonald.net. Yeah. Sorry, Heather. Oh, she posted a picture of her carrying my gorgeous handbag.
I know.
Did you see that? It was fabulous.
And the event got picked up from the Eventsy website. That's one of the top events in Tampa on the 30th. So.
Oh, that's because I'm going to be there. Heather who?
Cindy says hi from London.
Oh my God. Speaking of, who came to visit us last week was Dawn Ward from the UK. And we had a nice little visit here. She caught us up with everything she's got going on. And her husband was floating around on a yacht. And she had to leave to catch up with the yacht and her kids. And we were just sitting here like, okay, well, you just go, girl. And then I guess they were flying. Oh, my dog's barking. It's everybody's crazy today. So anyway, that was interesting. She said, if you're in the UK, you should go to, what is it called? No, our website. leahblack.co.uk. And she said, I'll promote your skincare for you. I said, okay, girl. So any of the girls on this show that don't like her, just sell more skincare than her and I'll jump her in a minute. I'll jump her in a flash.
You can reach out to Emily through that website.
Yeah, Emily's at that website. I like everybody. Okay, now before I forget, you guys, did they share the video last week? They got to share the video.
Yes, they did have good shares.
Yay! Meanwhile, Lisa Marie Presley suing her manager for squandering $100 million, according to TMZ. How could that? How outside of the world could you be that someone could squander that kind of money and you not know it? I mean, it happened to Scottie Pippen too. I don't know if it was that much money, but it was a lot of money. It happened to Billy Joel. It happens to a lot of people. So I don't want anyone squandering $100 million of my money. So I will come at you. Jason, turn over those keys. And then apparently I saw that Mariah Carey, she had surgery to lose weight, some kind of stomach thing surgery. I don't like that. I mean, I'd rather be overweight and healthy. I don't know. I don't think you should have those surgeries, girls. But, I mean, some people have them. I'm not an advocate of them. And, and then in a little inside gossip, Adrian Malouf and Paul Mistiffe that got the divorce, the doctor. Good news, they're still obviously friends because he was at her Halloween party, according to a little squeaky bird that I know in LA. So this was another one. Remember when, what was his name? Scott Weiland from the Stone Temple Pilots. He died recently. He performed at our charity event one year. Yeah. And I remember he performed it with the Ritz. It was the same year that Pamela Anderson came in. And then we got them a ride back on a private plane to Los Angeles. Do I remember everything, Jason? Jason says I remember everything. And on the way there, he wanted to stop at the Sundance Film Festival. And she refused to stop because the weather was bad and the pilots didn't want to stop. Apparently he was drinking and kind of pretty whatever you call it, inebriated. And she started crying and begging the pilots not to stop. And the pilots were like, don't worry, we're not going to stop. It's dangerous. And he was throwing a big fit on the plane that he wanted to get to the Sundance Film Festival. So anyway, they didn't get to the Sundance Film Festival. They went to LA, they landed. And somehow when he got to the airport, he stumbled onto somebody that had a plane, and he talked him into taking him back to Sundance. And Pamela said it was the scariest flight because the weather was so bad and this and that. But anyway, the point of this story is that the band has now replaced him. The brothers in the band, Rob and Dean DeLeo, have now brought in the former X Factor U.S. contestant Jeff Gott to the stage in Los Angeles Troubadour on Tuesday, November 14th. So I guess that was already came and went. But that's good. What a good break for this young guy from the X Factor. But what a sad story about Scott Weiland. Such a sad story.
I think his sister
was
Wendy from Prince and the Revolution.
Oh, I didn't know any of that. I don't keep up. I live in a world this big. I live in my little world. This is my little world that I live in right here. Yeah. And then there was a rumor that the Spice Girls were going to come back, all of them, and they were going to have a new reunion. But then, apparently, the main Beckham, the one that's Victoria Beckham, the one that's the most gorgeous clothes, she's really a super talent, and what a gorgeous husband and family she has. She says she's not going to perform with them. And you know what? I think she should. Maybe even if it was just a special, because, it was nostalgic and
But they did the Olympics.
Yeah.
And she said that when they decided to do it again, that they promised they were going to put it to rest.
Yeah, but something, they're probably, I don't know, but I would assume that they're kind of struggling and they need to get back out there, and this would put them back out there for a period of time, maybe buy some time. And so why not just go do it for them? I mean, just throw people a bone once in a while. Let people have their flowers in this lifetime, as a friend of mine used to say.
Somebody says, no, Victoria, she can't sing anyway.
But she looks good. I would say if you wear my clothes, well, how do we know she can't sing? So you can now, she can't? Oh, Lord. Well, we know people like that. You can have yourself a real-life Audrey Hepburn moment. The Blue Box Cafe is opening. You can't set him there. He's scared. He's scared. On a table, on a slick table. The dog's sitting there like this. Audrey Hepburn, the Blue Box Cafe is opening on 4th floor of Tiffany in New York City. It's their flagship store, and on November 10th it opened, and you can now go in and have a little breakfast with Tiffany in their little Tiffany vignette. Isn't that fabulous? Oh, I just loved that.
Breakfast starts at $39.
$39, but look at the ambiance. So you can now have breakfast at Tiffany's. Well, it's just so iconic. Yeah. I'm going to go there. Yeah, the menu will be seasonal, and the lunch comes at a set price of $39 for a starter and a main course, according to Vanity Fair. And I don't like set menus because what if there's something on there you don't like? Anyway, so the design of the space began from the idea from the immersion in Tiffany, not only the feeling of being inside the blue box, but surrounded by Tiffany hospitality. This is my one of a kind Tiffany ring. The only thing I don't like Tiffany anymore is you have to go online to buy the damn wedding gifts and baby gifts. They don't have the little store in Miami anymore where you can just go in and buy the gifts. You have to order online. I don't have to order online. I want to feel it, touch it, see if it looks like it. Deborah and I went in there one day. Oh my God, she's hilarious. She had to have these vases that were sculptured in silver. She had to have them. They were like $1,800 each. She had to have all 3 of them because she was going to put them on her centerpiece on her table and put flowers in them when she had people over. 1 rose per vase. But then if no one was over, she was going to put them on the side of the bed, and they were different layers. They were gorgeous. She buys them. She gets home. They weren't vases. They were candle holders. Yeah. So you couldn't stick a rose down in there. I mean, who's hilarious. In bad news, Nicki Minaj's brother has been convicted of rape and faces life in prison.
Yeah, I saw the news.
I wonder who his lawyer is. Oh, God. And he was convicted. It's too late now. It doesn't matter. You know what? Let me give you a little advice. If you're in trouble, you've got to get the lawyer before you get convicted. Don't get an average lawyer. That happened to Lil Wayne. He got a real estate lawyer and wound up in jail. Kevin Spacey cut out, allegedly. Well, I think that's pretty true. And by the way, that was a winnable case. The gun was in a bag that anybody could have put on the bus. I mean, should have asked me for advice. After singing at our gala, I don't know why he didn't call and ask for advice.
He was on the Talking Dead.
He was, Lil Wayne? Oh my God. Kevin Spacey's cut out of a new upcoming Carol Burnett special. So they already filmed it with Carol Burnett, Kristen Chenoweth, and Bernadette Peters. And now they're cutting him and editing him out of the show again. Oh my God, this guy, I think his career... I think it's over. I think it's over, and it's over in London too. I think it's just over. I made a list of the people that have been accused of sexual assault, and it was like
on one piece of paper?
On one piece of paper, and I ran out of room. And I finally said, you know what? I mean, who cares? And there's so many anymore. They also dropped him from All in the Money World. He was playing Paul Getty. And that's going to be an award-winning movie. I mean, he was cut out of so many things. I mean, it's just terrible.
Ridley Scott's directing that movie, and he's doing all the reshoots with the actor that he originally wanted.
Oh, really?
Movie.
Well,
so he's made a big deal
be
about
careful what you get for. Ask for. Sometimes you get it. Yeah. Now, in more sad news. Remember this guy, Roy Halladay? He was a big sports guy, and he was flying a plane, and he died. Well, it was a new kind of plane, and the guy that tested it, or the inventor of it, or whatever, had died on it a couple of years ago. He has a wife and 2 kids. It was kind of an irresponsible thing to do, to go out on this boat flying over the water. This plane. Well, he crashed and he died. And this radio host says he got what he deserved.
I know.
Who goes on the radio and says you got what you deserve because you got on that plane? I mean, you could have said that about a lot of people that have died in small plane crashes. I mean, John Denver died in one. I never got over that. I just loved him. The guy Michael Felger said on a Boston radio station, the host went on a long rant about him, disparaged Halladay, mocked his decision to take up flying planes as a hobby. Felger said, mocking Halladay. Yeah, man, look at those G-force on this. I'm a Maverick from Top Gun. Yeah, man, look at this. It's cool. And you die. Splat, and it's over. So you're that guy. You have to do that? I just landed on the water, everybody. I'm going to tweet about it. Splat, you're dead. 2 kids, moron. Who says that on a radio show? And then it just broke my heart. Look at this, that little church in Texas. They put a white chair with a rose with the name of every single person that died in the church, and the church is closed. It's so upset. And then yesterday happened again. Guy goes and shoots 4 or 5 people randomly. How many times before people are going to say we've got to have some common sense gun control? Now, you know how I'm about my dogs on the plane, and they have to be there with me, all of them on top of me, so I can't move or pee or eat. Well, this one airline passenger was asked to plane after her emotional support pig became disruptive. So she went on a plane with a pig on a leash, and they said the pig started oinking, and they got agitated, and they could smell it, and people complained, and they took her off the plane before the plane took off. People are crazy. Here's another one. This guy's emotional support squirrel could get him evicted. He says he cannot live without her, and if they won't let him have this squirrel, okay, then he is going to have to move. He's fighting the condo board about it. It's in Clearwater, and he says he always has a shoulder to lean on, and Brutus is the squirrel, and the property managers at Clearwater Beach condo discovered the furry friend in April, and they want him out of there. And then they say, well, he says if it was a gerbil or something that your grandkid had hiding under the bed, I'm sure that would be fine. But a squirrel is a wild animal. So he's going to fight the Congo board. And really, as long as he gets the squirrel at shots so that it doesn't have any disease, why shouldn't he have his little squirrel and feed it little nuts? I already told you about Lisa Marie Presley. Oh, look at this good news. Matthew McConaughey. How do you say his name? Matthew McConaughey, whatever. He's McConaughey, whatever. He is running around giving out free turkeys. He's been giving out free turkeys for the holidays. Isn't that sweet? We're talking turkeys for Thanksgiving gratitude. We believe in that our family, and we should be thankful for what we have, and it's a gratification, and we're giving back. And isn't that fabulous? So he's been hand delivering turkeys. Can you imagine if you're a fan of his? Knock. Hi, delivery. Go to the door. It's a turkey, and there's Matthew McConaughey.
So John Davis said he handed out turkey and blunts.
And what?
Blunts.
Blunts. What are blunts?
It's a joint.
Oh, a joint? I'm so out of it. I didn't know what that. Well, he could have just given brownies with it. Oh, what is this one? Oh, I can't even sell. Oh, George Clooney says he's moving away from acting. He says, I don't need the money. Well, yeah, they sell that. He and $1 billion. But he and Randy Gerber, so they share, I guess they share the money. But I could live on that $500 million. I mean, I wouldn't get greedy either. Then let's see. Oh, what about Roy Moore? There are people saying that Roy Moore, that senator wannabe in Alabama, somebody had the nerve, one of these right-wing Christian fanatics, went on the television and said, well, Joseph was an adult and Mary was a teenager and they created Jesus.
Yeah.
Is that's what we've been becoming? And then I am so sick of that. I've got the phone number, that 800 number of that religious television station. They call every day, give $10, give $20, give $30, and we'll pray for you. And all they do is talk politics and preach politics. And when you're a charitable organization, you are not supposed to be able to preach. You're not supposed to be able to preach about your political views. And that woman on there, she's going, well, this other guy came on there this morning in the kitchen. Fred is listening to all that stuff, dancing and singing with old Jimmy Swaggart. And the woman's on there, the guy's on there, and they're saying, well, you know, Trump's trying to drain the swamp, but they're just doing everything they can to keep him from it. While the GOP's allowing this guy to run for Senate when he has five. And that woman that came out, what was her name? Juanita or Beverly or whatever, one of those southern names, the redheaded one with all the jewelry. She came out and gave specific details on how he really had her in that car and trapped and was all over her like an octopus. And if that woman is lying, I'm telling you, call Meryl Streep's agent. She gets an acting award. She could win an Oscar. Yeah. If she's lying, she could win an Oscar.
But the malls and the local businesses there.
Yeah.
Now they're coming out and saying that for years he was banned from the local malls.
He was trolling the malls for these young girls, but they let him be Chief Justice. Yeah. He was kicked off the bench twice, and then they nominated him, for senator in the primary to replace what's his name, Sessions, who was under oath yesterday. I don't recall Sessions, and so it's just shocking. And then these people are down there going, "You're not going to tell us who to put in that Senate." Well, these people you're putting in that Senate are affecting the rest of us. I can't.
People want to know. They're all in agreement with you. They said, if Roy Moore is God, I'm Liberace.
Yeah.
Why is the GOP putting party before morality and country?
I know. It's unbelievable. And people are just like, they're like, well, this one woman, she goes, well, if he prayed about it and God forgave him, then we've got to forgive him too. Yeah. Really, bitch? I don't have to forgive him. It's not your place to forgive him. These 4 women or 5 women have to forgive him and their families, and who knows how many others might come out of the woodwork. It's horrible. But meanwhile, now, sometimes they do go too far. Ex-bodyguard accuses Mariah Carey of sexual harassment. Now, this one's going too far. He's her bodyguard. She says, bring in my luggage. She's in a see-through negligee. He brings in the luggage. He leaves. She goes, no, come back in and spread it out and set it up the way I want it. And he thinks he was sexually harassed because he could see through the negligee. Well, you know what? She wears less on stage. So, I mean, what do you complain? I think that's just gone too far. I really do. I mean, I don't know. And then, listen to this one. Her father was, you know, she wanted to be surrounded by black guys, not white people, he claims in the suit. Carey, a New York native, is a mixed race. Her father was black and Venezuelan, and her mother is Irish. So she lashed out at a Playboy reviewer who wrote that she was a white girl that could sing. So he's trying to tie in racism into seeing through the negligee and is suing her for sexual harassment. He didn't even touch her. I don't consider that harassment if they don't even touch you. I mean, I think you're just gone too far on that one. And then here's another one. Gay Talese also is defending sexual harassment. Says that Kevin Spacey's accusers should just suck it up.
I heard that.
What do they want him to suck? That's the question. Because I feel so bad. I hate that the actor's career is over to Talese told Vanity Fair. It happened 10 years ago. Jesus, suck it up once in a while. It didn't just happen one time. It happened over and over and over again. Now, does the punishment meet the crime? I don't know about that. I'm out on the jury about that. Should someone's life, livelihood, and career be completely ruined over it? I don't know, because I think the punishment should meet the crime. But should he have major consequences? Absolutely he should. And he goes, you know, something, and all of us in this room at one time or another did something we're ashamed of. The Dalai Lama has done something he's ashamed of and should confess. Put that in your magazine. Why are they invoking Jesus and the Dalai Lama to justify the behavior of these people? Look at the dog. He's just looking at us. You paying attention?
One of those supporters for Roy Moore this morning said, well, sometimes you just have to overlook certain things to get a good person in office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just overlook that to get a good guy with a gun and a cowboy hat. Do you notice another thing? When the black congresswoman that was standing up for the family of the soldier killed in Niger, she was wearing the cowboy hat, and everyone was mocking her for it. Everyone was making fun of her for it. Now this guy comes out on a horse with a cowboy hat and a gun, and no one said a word about that cowboy hat. Because what a double standard. I mean, I think you should be able to wear a hat if you want, but I mean, really, I think the root of all this is just racism. People would rather live in a sorry hellhole country than live on a street with someone black with slanted eyes, brown, or a turban. I'm telling you, they really would. It's just pathetic. I just can't anymore. So don't live in those neighborhoods. Go live somewhere else. A job hunter says he's been unfairly discriminated against after he was rejected by dozens of employees over his neck tattoo. But he doesn't regret getting it. Now you tell me, this guy comes in for a job.
It's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And he can't get a job, but he doesn't regret it. You know what? If you don't regret it, then you don't deserve it. The Bee Gees are getting the stage musical treatment. Universal Pictures presents Jimmy Horowitz on Wednesday announced that Live Theater Division has reached an agreement with Barry Gibb, Yvonne Gibb, and Maurice's widow, and the estate of Robin Gibb to develop a stage musical based on the life story of the Bee Gees. Barry will serve as the executive producer, and it will feature their iconic music. And Barry says it's a great opportunity for the family. He's very excited about it. Oh, that's great. They were just so amazing. I love them. They live right here in Miami. Well, what's left of them. It's so sad. Candy Burris speaks out about the family hustle couple's relationship on Watch What Happens Live. Okay, now listen to this. Remember that Tiny. Okay, do you know the Escape, the band that she used to be in? There's a girl in there named Tiny.
She's T.I.'s
Does that
wife.
ring a bell for you?
It's T.I.'s wife.
That's T.I.'s wife. And T.I.'s wife is the reason that they didn't keep the agreement with us on the charity. Remember this. So they came to us. He was going away to jail. And he wanted a house on Star Island that they could have to have their going away jail party. We talk our friend into loaning his yard for 100 of these rapper types to have their going away TI party to jail under the condition that when he got out of jail, he would perform at our charity to make the point to young kids about, their behavior and the consequences of their behavior and not getting into trouble and this and that. He gets out of jail, we remind them, and that Tiny is the most ridiculous person to deal with of anybody I've ever seen in my life. She was literally just stupid. And she just wouldn't let it happen. She stood in the way between him and his performing. We couldn't even get to his group. We couldn't get to anybody in the organization because of her. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had just recently gotten married, or she was the girlfriend at the time. So as much as I was rooting for that band now that I see her, oh my God, poor guy married to her. He's stopping his career from performing at a really amazing charity event to help other kids not get in trouble too. Where's that alleged sign? The Real House. But I was so annoyed with her at the time. I can't even believe it. I mean, they gave us their word that he would perform. We gave him the house. We honored our commitment, and then they went back on their word. So they don't have any. They're not honorable people, starting with her. So I see Candy's point. I wouldn't be singing with them either. Put her in the background. Put her way in the background. The Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere rating continues to decline. Bravo execs are concerned about the lackluster season. Well, that's interesting because the year Nene was off, the ratings were actually up. Then they brought her back thinking they were going to bring the ratings up, and apparently she wasn't even on episode 2, and the ratings are declining. So I wonder what's going on about that. And then I saw that one scene when I was flipping channels about Kenya crying that her fabulous husband in New York doesn't like all this publicity. Well, I don't blame him. And not only that, I mean, honestly, you just get married to a guy that's very successful living in New York. If I were her, I would give up the show and go live in New York and be the perfect wife and hostess and have the glamorous, fabulous New York lifestyle. Who needs that show when you could be in New York with a guy that can take care of you in the way you want to be taken care of, that you're in love with? Really? But if you're going to do the show, then go and do the show. Go home 3 days a week to New York, make New York your home base, and go back and forth. And if he didn't want to be on the show, he shouldn't have to be on the show.
Jamie Rollerson says Nene is not worth $2 million.
She didn't get $2 million. That I know for a fact. That's PR, press, and spin. She did not. I know 100%. Meanwhile, and good news, this little boy's on a mission to buy donuts for every single cop. Aww. He wants to buy 900,000 donuts and give one donut to every single cop in the country. Isn't that sweet? So he's been saving his money, and he gave a bunch of donuts to the local cops, and now he's trying to expand it. Here's one for you. Who thought about this? Anne Hathaway posted this on her Instagram. Listen to this. So she said, did you know that every single plastic toothbrush that has ever been used, ever, is still on the planet? It's true, and it's gross. For my birthday, I would love for you to ask how to buy yourself a bamboo combustible toothbrush, and if you like it, make the switch permanently. It's a non-sponsored link in her bio. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to just start buying those. I'm going to definitely do that. I try to buy plastic instead of plastic silverware. I try to buy the wood silverware. I don't ever use plastic in LA. They don't even offer you plastic at the grocery stores. No. I tell Freight and them, try to not buy anything in plastic. And I mean, listen, it's ruining the planet. Pharrell at one time apparently was going to take plastic and turn it into blue jeans. Whatever happened to that?
John Davis says he still has all of his toothbrushes.
Oh, God. I doubt it. Remember those people who collected those cigarettes?
Yeah.
Now, the cyclist that gave Trump the middle finger, he wasn't going to hear me through the glass. So Julie Bregman has been hailed a hero, but she was fired for her job. She was riding her bike and she shoots the POTUS. I can't even say the word. The finger when he rides by in his limousine, or whatever you call it. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Speaking of politics, look at what it's like in New Delhi, India right now.
This is terrible.
So we pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement, and look what's going on in New Delhi in India. Look at this. A toxic cloud has descended on the capital, delaying flights, trains, causing coughs, headaches, highway pileups, and causing officials to take unprecedented step of closing 4,000 schools for almost a week. So if we don't take care of the environment, we're going to have all this money, and we're going to have all this oil and all these fossil fuels and all this, we're going to have all this stuff, and then we're going to be living in our house with the windows closed and taped on oxygen tents in an environment like that.
The airlines won't even fly.
Yeah, and the airlines are going to be, you're not going to be able to go anywhere, and you're not going to be able to drive because you can't see anything. So you get to choose. Do you want to be responsible for the planet, or do you want to live like this? And I mean, how is it that we dropped out? Only us and one other country dropped out
this week.
So we're the only one. We're the only one. I think they signed it probably the big
Syria.
shoot the finger to you know who. Oh, I
That
can't.
article about New Delhi I read this week, and they said like breathing the air in 24 hours is equal to like 45 cigarettes or something.
God,
like that.
small particles settle deep in the lungs. Oh my God, scientists estimate the particles have killed millions. And they're used to toxic air, but now they're having to wear a mask of one type or another. And the air pollution has engulfed the city. Oh my God, it's just terrible. It's just so upsetting. I can't. Oh gosh, let's see what else. Oh, my quote of the week before we wrap up. Either run your life or it will run you. Well, I have a confession. Right now, mine's running me. So I do try to run my life so it doesn't run me. So that's the quote. Run your life or it will run you. But now mine is running me. However, I'm aware of it. So there is a distinction. Look at this. These churches that are preaching and getting all this money in for praying for you, they're now trying to get a House bill through that they can now be political. So in other words, all these right-wing Christians that are on there making you pay to pray for you and to give you Bibles are now wanting to make it where they can have this tax-free income and be political advocates. It's just wrong. It's against the Constitution, and it's just wrong on so many levels. Oh, here it is. All right, I did that one already. Oh Lord, let's see. Oh, okay, go ahead. What do we have?
Barbie said, Leah for Congress.
Oh God, can you imagine? Oh my God, can you
Everyone's saying,
imagine?
yes, Queen. Oh, the Paris Agreement. Isabel says the Paris Agreement is very important. People are saying that you look great today.
Fabulous. So listen to this one. You know, when there's a vacuum, somebody always sucks it up. So Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is leading the guest on December 12th about climate change. So if Obama were still in office, he would have been the leader of the Paris Climate Accord big meeting where one of the leaders of countries from all over the world are going to be there. Now, Emmanuel Macron is leading. And the Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau is leading. And we're giving up our world stage because we're hillbillies and we want to keep those guns and we want to shoot those people, and we're all going to be walking around with them on our hips so we can defend ourselves.
America.
And we're going to pray. Thoughts and prayers are going to solve our problems.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it. Oh, can't. Okay, so that's our story, and we're sticking to it. So next week is Thanksgiving. Won't be here. Happy Turkey Day, Happy Thanksgiving Day, Happy Vegetarian Day, happy. And then the following week we'll be back. And don't forget that the Thursday, the following week on the 30th, we'll be in Tampa. You got to come see us at Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald. And I hope I didn't bore you with too much of my trash talk today, but it was fun. Bye.